Hi ladies, it's Kristen and I am here for my week 25 update, coming in even more tardy than usual with this one. So I'm 25 weeks and 5 days today. So yeah, I'm pretty tardy with this one. Again, the early parts of my week are busy and I change what day I am on Sunday. So sometimes it's not really till Thursday or Friday that I feel like I can slow down and breathe, which is difficult for when I want to sit down and film a video. But right now I have a moment of quiet. There actually is nobody in my house but me at the moment because Scott's out doing yard work and my little ones are in theory weeding around our hostas, but I don't think they're actually doing it. I think they're actually chasing grasshoppers to feed to the 4-H chicks that we got last week. And one of the kids is helping Scott with yard work, and other kids are organizing homeschool books in the pole barn as a project for me. So I have a rare moment of quiet right here, so I'm taking it. Though I've got the window open beside me, so you might end up hearing children hollering or whatever. But so let's talk about this week, pregnancy this week. I had an appointment this week. So things are going well. I feel good still. I'm definitely feeling tired in the afternoon. I think I talked about that last week. Just I really need to start taking an afternoon nap. And I've managed to do that 1 day out of 4 so far this week. Maybe I can make it 2 out of 5. And then tomorrow, 3 out of 6, which is better than nothing. It's definitely something that I need to make sure that I'm doing. And it's not like fatigue, like early pregnancy fatigue, but it is, I'm getting tired by midday and I really need to rest. So that's something that I'm hoping to do. Otherwise, as far as symptoms, I don't really think that I'm feeling anything because nausea fortunately is long gone. I'm feeling good. I still have some weird food things going on, like I make a stew every Saturday in the crock pot for us to eat for dinner Saturday night. I start it Friday so that we don't have to cook on Saturday. I can't eat that. I don't know why, it's just I can't eat it. I like it when I'm not pregnant, but I usually end up eating a sandwich, which isn't the best, but it is what it is. Otherwise, though, I guess the weirdest things would be like if I make broccoli, like I made broccoli and cauliflower. Remember I talked to y'all a couple weeks ago about meal prep? Well, one of the meals that I was prepping the chicken and the beef for was just to be able to do a quick stir fry or even just quick veggies on the side if I make, say, a creamy chicken. And the broccoli and cauliflower, I was having trouble with it. So last week, I didn't get to do much meal prep because I was at those marathon births, but this week has been better. So I got to do the meal prep, or most of it, again on Sunday, and that worked really well. But this week what I've done is when I've done broccoli or cauliflower or something is I've made sure that I've diced mine a little bit finer, and that has worked well. So that's still kind of something weird, is it's got to be, the things still have to be diced pretty fine or else I just can't eat them. And yesterday I made a salad for lunch that I was really hungry for, but then when I sat down to eat it, I had a really hard time getting through it, so that was weird. Not like I was full, but it just, all of a sudden, it wasn't appealing. I forced myself to eat most of it because, it was okay and it was good for me and the baby and I didn't want to make something different, but that was kind of weird. I'm not sure. I put cottage cheese on it and I feel like maybe I put too much, so maybe I'll try less this time, or next time. But anyways, so other than like little food quirks here and there, I would say that I feel pretty good. I had on Sunday excruciating lower back pain, and I think Scott pinned the reason for that because last Saturday I spent most of the day sitting in the recliner. We went for walks, but I spent most of the day sitting in the recliner when we were in the house, which doesn't really encourage good posture at all, and I paid for it on Sunday. So Sunday, like I said, excruciating lower back pain. I could hardly walk. And then, of course, Sunday night I got called to a birth, but it ended up being a false alarm. But still, I was kind of limping my way around at the birth. I felt really bad, but hopefully she wasn't paying much attention to me. And then we got home probably 3 a.m. I got there at about 10:15 and got home about 3 a.m. And you know, I don't mind false alarms very much, so that wasn't a big deal. Though I was a little tired on Monday, and then Monday it was better. We had a staff meeting on Monday, and I sat on the floor for the entire staff meeting. I'm glad we have a nice casual office where you can do that, and I really think that that helped a lot. Just sitting on the floor, having to be upright, not, you know, I did lean against the bed some. We actually have a bed in our office rather than one of those examining tables to do prenatals. So it's like actually a trundle bed that doesn't have the trundle anymore. So it's just a little day bed kind of thing where women can lay down. And so I did like lean back against the bed some, but mostly I tried to stay upright. And our staff meetings are always really long. Again, I find them very beneficial, so I don't mind that they're long, but we only have them once a month, so we cover all the births and any new moms who have something come up during their prenatal care or anything like that, plus questions we have as students, plus figuring out logistics. It just takes a few hours. So I spent those hours sitting on the floor, and I feel like that was helpful. So by Tuesday, there wasn't, you know, most of the pain was gone. There was one day, I can't remember if it was Monday or if it was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday though. I decided to wear my my prenatal cradle, and actually I meant to bring that over. Let me go grab it real quick because I have it out because I was wearing it, but I didn't bring it over. And excuse the mess back there. So when you hear me talk about the prenatal cradle, and I do sometimes, like if you're taking my online birthing classes, or I talk about it on the Q&A a lot when moms are having pain. So this, I've had this since my 5th pregnancy, so it's on its 4th pregnancy now. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Yep, fourth pregnancy. So it's a little bit more worn, and then obviously you get one brand new. But this is the tag. And this part is the band that actually goes around your belly. And then this part crisscrosses up and over. I can actually show y'all like over my stuff here. Let's see if I can get it right. So you put it on like this, and then it goes up and over. So you can see, normally, you know, you'd wear it under your clothes. I like wearing it over the undershirt, but under the regular clothes, obviously. And then you pull it around. Let me see if I can turn that down some, so that the belt part goes under your belly, and there's different levels to fasten it at, depending on the level of support you want or how big your belly is, and that sort of thing. And then, put it back up a little bit. It crisscrosses across the back, too. So it's not the most attractive thing in the world, but it is very effective. So you wouldn't probably want to wear like a V-neck with it, but you can wear a crew neck with it just fine, and nobody can really see it. But it makes a huge difference, and especially if you're in a lot of acute pain, I feel like it can make a really big difference. So that's why I share it. Like I said, I got it in my 5th pregnancy. I was in so much pain in that pregnancy, and it felt like a splurge, but my midwife finally convinced me that it was worth it, and it was, because it made a huge difference right away. I usually wear it for pelvic girdle pain, but like I said, this pain that I was having was definitely lower back pain, and I decided to wear it just because what was happening was like my lower back hurt so bad, and I guess my muscles were compensating, but like the muscles on my lower belly kept cramping up. Like I could feel it, and it felt really bad, and it felt kind of scary. Like, not, I think this is a contraction scary, but can this possibly be good for my baby and my uterus scary? So I decided to wear the support mostly because of the belt to go under my belly and help support those muscles. And I wore it all day. I think, like I said, I think it was Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, which is the day that I went into the office to do prenatals and had my own appointment, the back pain was essentially gone. So that's really good. I have noticed a little bit more stiffness, like pelvic girdle pain, especially in the mornings. So I did the exercises some because of the back pain, hoping it would help with that, and I think it did. and I'll probably continue to work on the exercises. I need to go back and watch the videos that I made about the exercises for my class on pain and pregnancy, which I can put a link to down below the video. But those core exercises really make a big difference, and so I want to like hit this before it starts. Like I said last week, I think I've been really blessed this time around that it hasn't started nearly as soon, and I think that's because I'm a lot more aware about my alignment and posture and everything. And I really think taking walks, and especially barefoot walks, helps. I actually wear a little pair of moccasins that I have because we have blackberry brambles and that sort of thing along the trail, and I don't want to step on those in bare feet, but it's almost like being barefoot, so barefoot shoes work really well too. And I think that all of that has really helped to keep the pain level in this pregnancy lower. So let's see what else has been going on. So let's talk about my appointment. So my prenatal appointment went really well. I've been having fun in like the last week or so trying to feel, okay, what's the baby's position? Because at 25 weeks, it can be hard to feel, but you're starting to be able to feel what position is the baby in. Earlier than that, you really can't. So I've been trying to feel, and I think it was Saturday night that I sat down and felt, and I was pretty sure that the baby was breech because I was feeling like right here, like this really hard round thing, which I was figuring that's probably the baby's head that I'm feeling. And then I felt like the baby's head, I'll show you. So I felt like the baby's head was here and that the baby's back was down along this side, like when I was feeling, because I was feeling more of a smooth roundness here and nothing here, like it was just squishy. And so when I tried to listen to the baby's heartbeat with the fetoscope, I could hear the heart tones right around here. So I feel like I was probably correct. But then by the time we went to that birth, or the, where the mom thought she was in labor, I think the baby had turned. And then Tuesday night I was feeling to try and figure it out just before the appointment. Even though this baby moves all the time, so I wasn't expecting the baby to stay really. But before the appointment, so that night I felt like maybe I felt the head here and like the back here, and I got heart tones really loudly right here with the fetoscope. So I felt pretty confident about that too. But then at my appointment, when Kathy, my midwife, she felt like that the baby maybe had flopped even further and was head down. And I'm trying to remember what side she thought the back was on. I think she thought that the back was on this side, so on my right side. And she found the heart tones on the right side. So I have tried to feel a couple times since then, and I'm not really sure. It's like I felt pretty certain that the head was the head when I was thinking the baby was breech, just because it was so hard. But I haven't really felt that definite hardness again. And especially if the baby is head down, that's harder to feel. Like normally when we feel on a mom, so like if this, if this is her belly, so these are her legs kind of thing, we do this, like cup our fingers around the baby's head. And I can't really do that on myself. So I'm kind of just, more trying to feel with two hands, which makes it harder to tell what I'm feeling. Like when I thought the head was breech, I could do the cup and like feel that. But anyways, and Scott and I are still going to try and make that video. I need him to help me film it. But Scott and I are still going to try and do that video where I talk about how to feel the position of your baby and listen with a fetoscope. We just haven't managed to make it happen yet. But anyways, so I'm really interested to see what position the baby is in at my next appointment, which I'll be like 29 weeks. Because by the 28-week appointment with all of my other babies, the baby has been head down and then pretty consistently head down from that point forward. I still feel like this baby is moving a lot, but I'm really curious to see if the baby flips head down. I had a super vivid dream about having a breech baby. It was a beautiful birth on hands and knees, but I think I had that dream because when we were at that mom's and we were trying to kind of give her some space to see if her labor would really get going, we were just sitting talking away, and we were talking about breech babies, and then I went home and had that dream that night. So I think it's because we have been speaking about breech babies. I don't really actually have a feeling that this baby will be breech. I've never had a breech baby, so I could, statistically, I could have a breech baby, but I just don't think so because none of my other babies have been breech. But it's still fun for me to think about positions and like look at the baby's position. And especially with some of my babies, I was like super uptight, like I will not sit back. And I try to be aware of position and good alignment and posture for my own sake. But I'm not going to be like, I won't sit back because I might have a posterior baby or the baby might be in the wrong position. Now, I won't sit back in the recliner again to help avoid that excruciating lower back pain for sure. And if the happy end result of that is that I have a nicely lined up baby, then that's good. But like with Sadie, for sure, I know that she was really nicely lined up for weeks going into birth. And I think walking had a lot to do with that. Actually, for her snowshoeing had a lot to do with that. But yeah, so that's just interesting about baby positioning. So that's the position baby was in at the appointment. Baby's heart rate was in the 140s, which seems to be where baby's hanging out lately. One night when I think it was Saturday night when I did it, the baby must have been really mellow because it was in the 130s. But usually it's in the 140s, so that seems to be where this baby has settled now that baby is bigger. Like at first, in the early days, baby's heart rates are usually higher. So if you listen to your baby's heart rate, say in the first trimester, it's usually much faster. But by this point, I feel like we get a feel for what an individual baby is and that they tend to have heart rates hanging out around the same place. So I think the first time we heard this baby's heart rate, it was in the 150s, and now baby seems to like being in the 140s. So good heart rate. Baby's position felt good. Like I said, baby moves tons, so like tons. So I don't really have any worries about that. I'm definitely starting to get, like lots and lots and lots of really hard kicks and lots of that sliding movement that I talked about last week. So the baby's really, really in there moving and starting to get stronger, which is exciting. And we just talked about, my appointment. We just talked kind of about me and what's going on and stressors in life and things like that. I've been pretty stressed lately, which is something that's difficult to think about in pregnancy. You don't want to be stressed out, but when finances and things are tight, it's hard. One of the things I released a podcast this morning, so if y'all listen to the Birth, Baby, and Life podcast, you'll hear me mention it on there. The podcast was on trusting yourself in pregnancy and while parenting, but I mentioned that because I was talking about emotions on the podcast. And I also mentioned a book study that we're doing in my ladies' Bible study group, which is Ann Voskamp's 1,000 Gifts. And that's been really challenging for me, challenging to me personally from a growth perspective, like looking at even the hard situations and saying, where can I be grateful for this and what can I gain for this? And like I said, it's been really challenging for me because I felt like things have been really challenging overall lately to the point where sometimes I'm asking why it's not fair. But then it was interesting because I was listening to something from somebody else this morning, and she was talking about when she went through a hard time in her life, kind of similar to what I'm going through. And she was talking about, I felt like that I was being told the lesson that I was supposed to learn was to be happy and be content. Not necessarily to be content to want to stay in that position because she didn't, but, finding enough internal contentment within her and gratitude and thankfulness and happiness to be happy while in this situation, while still working to change the situation, if that makes sense. But to me, it made a lot of sense. There was a lot of wisdom, and it really felt like it was lining up very much with what we've been talking about from Anne's book and kind of what I feel like I've been wrestling with in my prayers and everything. And so that's something that I have really been trying to do is like look at what I'm grateful for. And even in the hardest of situations, like we've got an issue going on with one of our teenagers, or Scott and I have had a fight or something like that, it's like, okay, what's the good in this? And can I take a breath and can I say, even in the moment, that's probably the most challenging thing in Anne's book is she's like, even in the moment, can you take a minute and if it aligns with your spiritual beliefs, take a moment to look up and say, God, what do you want me to get out of this? Or how can I find something positive in this? Or how can I be grateful for something in this? Even if, like, she shared an experience with where two of her sons were in a spat with each other, and, how's she supposed to find the good in that when they're, like, basically, throwing food across the table at each other kind of thing. And we're talking bigger boys, not little kids who are just doing it for fun. And she said, what she came to was like, I'm grateful for these sons. I'm grateful for these boys and for this chance to parent them, even though it's really hard right now. And, I said, well, I can do that, because even in the midst of an argument or a lecture with a kid or something, you can say, I'm grateful for this person, because that even though the moment is tough, I'm grateful for this person and who they are. Or like if you had a fight with your spouse or something, I'm grateful for my husband, even if I don't see eye to eye with him right now. So that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to remember. Like, even if in the situation I can't see any good in it. I did it yesterday. Scott and I did. We were having an argument, and I feel like it resolved nicely, but we were outside walking, because I was trying to calm down. And it was nice and sunny, and I had on just a tank top, and I was like, I'm getting a suntan. So it's like, there's something good coming out of this, and it made Scott laugh, and it made me laugh, and it helped both of us calm down a little bit and really communicate rather than just, argue. And I think it's important, because we all want things to be really happy and really great all the time, like, and especially when you're pregnant. Then I came home and I was reviewing pages on my site that need updating, and it's like I came across one that was like, does arguing affect my unborn baby? Which is a question I got from a reader or a listener at some point. It's like, great. That's condemning or convicting, whichever one you want to go with. Let's go with convicting. But I feel like that, looking for that silver lining, I guess, even when we're having a disagreement, and that laugh that we could have helped, kind of helped to lower the tension level and have us start communicating. And ultimately, that's a good thing for a relationship. And also, like, when we look at unborn babies, chronic stress is not good for them. But everybody has stressful moments. Your child will have stressful moments throughout his or her life. And so when you in the womb have a stressful moment, the baby feels those hormones. They're going to feel those hormones throughout their life. So if you then calm down, and especially if you can calm down and follow up with something relaxing, then you teach your baby that stress happens, but then we calm down and we relax. And it teaches like kind of a healthy, like programs a healthy hormonal stress response, is what perinatal research is finding. So if there's chronic stress that's almost always there, that's not good, because then your baby learns that the world is a chronically stressful place, and that's kind of what they're programmed for hormonally. But if you have the stresses that occur in everyday life, and everybody does, and then you calm down, and even afterwards really try and relax, find something pleasurable once you're able to be away from the situation or something like that, then that teaches your baby more of a proper programming for, yes, stresses come up, but then we chill out. So anyways, that's just the kind of thing that's been on my mind a lot this week. Is I'm always more introspective in pregnancy anyways, but I've been working through the workbook for Anne's book, and that's been really challenging. And just thinking about myself and what's going on with me, and what are my thoughts and my feelings, and how do I react to these situations, and how can I make gratitude and thankfulness more part of what I do and who I am and how I handle situations. So that's one of the big things that I want to try and do over the next couple weeks. Next few weeks, really, I just want to make it a habit. I changed my lock screen to a little gratitude, thankfulness lock screen, which I really like. I obviously can't show it to you because I'm filming on my phone, but I feel like it's helpful. And then I changed my wallpaper on my phone to a different quote about gratitude and joy and that sort of thing. So anyways, I can maybe try and find them. I just searched for them on my phone, like gratitude iPhone wallpaper, and found them, but I can try and find them and link below the video. Otherwise, I'm at like 25 minutes now, so I don't want to bore y'all too much. But otherwise, the meal prep thing is working really well, and we're actually really starting to make tracks on doing some organization on the house this week, and even out in the pole barn. Like I said, that's where two of my kids are out there working on sorting out some homeschool stuff for me out there. So I'll talk probably more about that next week. I'm feeling definitely an urgency to have the house cleaner and start organizing some of the clutter that's just been sitting around. And I feel like this week I've definitely made progress on that. So hopefully next week I'll still feel like I've made progress and I can share that with you. But for now, let me go ahead and show you my belly. I found this like tank top because, gosh, it's getting hot here. I hate complaining because we spend so much time in the winter, but when you're pregnant, man, it gets hot. But I got this one just to wear around the house, but I think it's really cute because it says baby. So I'll show you my belly. So this is my 25, actually really almost 26 week belly. We had a mom in the office the other day who's only a couple weeks behind me, and her belly is so much tinier, but I'll accept this for what it is. So this is my belly, baby number 8 at 25, almost 26 weeks. And then just a belly with no shirt on. I still think it's a nice belly, even, you know, if it's bigger than it would have been with the first or second baby. So, and I could show from the front too. I feel like it's basically all baby. I feel like all my pregnancy weight is like down here and back here, because this is pretty baby. So anyways, that's my belly, and I will talk to you gals next week, and I hope you have a good week. Let me know. I love hearing from y'all in the comments, so let me know how your pregnancy is going or if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.